Welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean Collins, in helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So it's going to be your monthly Tarotscope readings for the month of March 2022. And remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now, if you're new to the channel, the reason I use the North Node in the readings as opposed to your sun sign, moon sign, or ascendant is because it's recognized in astrology that the North Node is your life's purpose, what you were born to do and accomplish in this lifetime. So I find it's much more relevant across the board for people's lives. So let's get started on the readings. Okay, so this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope readings for March 2022 for everybody with their North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, so the spread on this side of the table represents the first half of the month from the 1st to the 15th, and then this side over here represents the 16th of the month to the end. I did another book divination just like I did last month with the book Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller, great North Node book. And I did a book divination for all the North Nodes by sign and house, and what came up for you was facing issues and problems head on, like facing them head on, and in particular in relationships. Okay, so that's what's coming up big time for you this month. Okay, North Node and Capricorn. Now, for most of you, okay, relationships of all sorts and feelings and emotions are very important to you. You know, you have a superpower with your South Node in Cancer or the 4th house of immense spectrum of emotions. Okay, just really, that's a great superpower. And for a lot of you in this lifetime, it has been difficult because it's almost like, you know, though that hasn't been honored in your life, you know, by other people. But what wants to come out this month is, you know, I feel like there could be a lot of you that have regarding relationships, and that could be romantic, friendships, work, family, okay, but something to do with your relationships in your life could be causing like some, you know, burdens and stress, or could be like quite a bit of worry, but you're holding it in. A lot of you are holding it in. And that is not healthy, okay? What's wanting to come out here is when I did the book divination and it said facing issues head on, what does that mean? That means that when there's a problem, let's say in your life with another person or people, you may be holding it in because either you don't want to cause any more stress to the situation or cause anger to flare, or it could just be like, you know, like sidestepping and not really wanting to, just not wanting to deal with that at all, okay? not wanting, you know, like there's a meme, many forms of this meme going around the internet, you know, and I'm sure some of you have seen one of them where it just says like, I don't want to adult today. You know, I don't want to be an adult today type of a thing. And it's just like sometimes, I mean, we all feel like that, you know, where it's just like, we just don't want to deal with it. You know, we may at some point have to deal with it. But like, that's really what this is saying is that there is a tendency, because I know people with these placements that you've gone through a lot of intense emotions from other people, especially from maybe like authority figures in your life. And, you know, even in like current relationships, and like when an issue arises, what you want to do is you want to, even though like, don't put it off, don't procrastinate, but face it and deal with it. And when you do that, when you do that, you will feel so much better, because it's like when you don't deal with it and you keep it inside, it kind of grows into a bigger monster than it has to be, okay? And really, like, what it is in this lifetime, when you think about it, what does it mean? What does it mean to have, one of the things it means to have your North Node in Capricorn, or the 10th house? It's really about, you know, like, honestly, it's about getting tough, okay? Because when you look at the polarity of, you know, Cancer in Capricorn, and like, I am a Cancer sun, and my North Node is in Cancer, okay? I am very aware of this polarity, okay? But, you know, when your North Node is in Capricorn, or the 10th house, it's about like having to get tough, having to kind of grow up and do the adult things that we all don't want to do sometimes, you know? And that part of that is like facing it head on, you know? Like, if we had, think of like, you could think of a parent, whether you are or not a parent, but just think of a parent or someone who's responsible, or let's say like a boss of a company. When a situation comes up, what would happen if that parent or that boss or head of company didn't want to face it and just said, nah, I don't want to deal with it, and they just keep like sidestepping and not like wanting to deal with it? That really wouldn't work, you know? So most people that have success in life, either personal or, you know, in the worldly type of success, or have taught themselves to just like face problems head on. I know it's not always easy, and that's what's really coming up. But especially for you, North Nodes in Capricorn, or the 10th house, it's going to be in like personal relationships. Now, what ends up happening when you do that? Let's say there's an issue in a relationship that you have, and you haven't been wanting to deal with it, and you've been dreading it, and you've been putting it off. What happens when you finally face it head on and you face it? It's going to be uncomfortable, but after it's over, what ends up happening is you gain so much personal strength in your life. And because, as I always say, when we head toward our North Node, when we make decisions to move on our timeline, our optimal timeline to our North Node, we are really, really blessed by the universe, and we get a lot of help. So what ends up happening is you become strong, you become powerful in your life. And, you know, strength and power for most of you is not your first priority. Your first priority is, you know, home, family, relationships, love. And you like I said, you have that innate ability, you have that superpower of being able to connect emotionally. When you add this, when you have the courage to face the things you need to face in your life, in all aspects, and face them head on as opposed to putting them off, that's what you gain. You just gain so much more power, and you become more powerful. You become better for the people around you in your life, and it's just a more quality life for you. So I feel like this first half of the month, there's going to be an opportunity where you're going to need to, you know, kind of face that. Some of you are, okay, you're carrying this burden, as I said, and there's a lot of worry. Some of you even could be, I'm seeing something where almost like burying yourself in like distractions of possibly, or even the other person could be burying themselves in distractions of like maybe partying too much, or just any sort of like distractions. But now is the time to really face what you need to face head on, and you're going to see crazy, amazing good changes in your life. Now, the second half of the month, okay, I'm seeing for a lot of you that there could be difficulty in kind of going down this road. It almost seems like it's something where there's like a fear involved of kind of doing this. But what's coming up is, I want you to think of whether or not you had what you would call like a great mother. Some people are blessed with having that, having like an amazing mother, and having that love and support and compassion in their life, and others haven't. For a lot of you, it's going to be different. But we all can imagine of what we would want in, if we haven't had it, what we want in like the perfect mother. We want someone who is, you know, nurturing, loving, of course, protective, and we want someone that is, you know, having these qualities of strength. And that's what you're doing when you're facing, you know, these issues in your life. Don't think of them as just being uncomfortable, but think of them as something that like a really strong mother would do without of love, you know, or, you know, out of love. We've all seen these type of scenes, you know, in a movie or read them in books where, you know, someone like let's say, you know, a mother sits one of their children down and says, look, I love you, but this blah, 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 you know, has to change, or this and this and this. And, you know, they make the tough speech, you know, to the child. Okay. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is like when you're doing this, you're doing it out of love. You're doing it out of love for yourself, for the situation, because by not having direct communication or facing things head on, they get a lot of times bigger, as I said, than they need to be. And so that's really what, you know, is going to be the opportunity. And I see that a lot of you are, it's going to be difficult for you to make that. But expect that if, depending on how you're able to face those things, there could be a little bit of conflict this second half of the month regarding this. Like when you do this, I don't want you to get discouraged if, when you're facing a problem head on, if you're getting flack from the other person or people, you know, or entity. I don't want that to discourage, because you, what I'm saying is it's not going to be just like you facing the problem and they just agree with it. So there could be like a little pushback. And so you're going to be forced to kind of hold your ground. And again, that's a test. Again, what did I say? What does North Node in Capricorn, when you embrace that, you're embracing toughness. It rules authority. It rules, you know, security, you know, Capricorn, and it rules like, you know, being able to, it rules like, you know, parental figures and authority figures, you know. And so it's not always easy. So it's like you do get kind of tested, and you're supposed to hold your ground, but you can hold your ground with love. So going back to that example of like a mother giving that tough talk to, a child, but doing it out of love and realizing even though it's uncomfortable, she needs to say what needs to be said. And then she does that. And then there's some pushback from who she's talking to. But she holds her ground and says, well, so it could go a couple of rounds where, you have to hold your ground and you may have to like make your point. I just don't want you to expect that once you face things head on that it's going to be easy, because that part of things is of facing things is then you have to like deal with it. But it's much better than just like not facing them. But this definitely, it definitely takes courage. And what you will get out of this is you will become a much stronger person and have a much more, higher quality of life. So don't let things that need to be addressed and said in your life, go forgotten. But, face them, and you're going to see that it's going to really, really transform a lot of aspects of your life. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you could, it helps with the algorithms. If you could hit that like button, really appreciate that. And I'd love to hear from you in a comment. Love to answer any questions that you have. And if you need a personal reading, there'll be a link in the description box below. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.